What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Mach's Wrench Set. Today we're doing things a little different. Other than the podcast, I've always been wanting to do something on the road. Get out there and get to talk to people, car owners, talk about cool cars, and get you guys out there to see new things and cool things. So today I brought in Aaron. Aaron and I have known each other for a little while now, and what I didn't know until recently when I saw the car in a parade was he had a beautiful '69 Mustang. Alright, so we're going to do a little bit of a walk around about the car. Aaron's going to tell us about everything, and yeah. So Aaron, tell us a little bit about this thing, the background, the history.
I don't have a whole lot of the history. I got it about a year ago. It's a '69 Mach 1. I was actually scrolling through Craigslist. I was in a period where I did that about every single day. Anything within 200 miles from 1925 to 1989 was what I was looking for. And one day this popped up around Canton, Akron area. And told my wife, I said, I want to go take a look at it. And if I was interested in it, when I saw the pictures of it, when I saw it in person, I was definitely interested even more. We took a look at it. The guy started up in his garage. He said, you want to go for a ride? And I said, yeah. And we got back and my wife said, you're going to buy this car, aren't you? So I did. The guy that had it before me, I think he bought it after, I think it was a frame-off restoration before he got it. And whenever I came to pick it up 2 days later, I had my friend drive my truck up, and I showed up, and he said, where's your trailer? I said, what do you mean, where's my trailer? He said, how far do you have to go? I said, about an hour and a half, 2 hours. And he said, that'll be the longest trip this car's ever been on since I owned it. And I said, well, that's a shame. And I think I saw a tear roll down his cheek when I drove it away, because he thought I was going to trailer it. But it was good. It was good to get to know the car right after I got it. How it runs. It's a 3-speed automatic, and I learned real quick coming through a bend. If you put it down too hard, it shifts down into first, and it'll almost kill you.
Is it a stock transmission or built, or?
It originally had a 3-speed manual transmission in it, and then somebody swapped it over to a 3-speed automatic, and he tried to sell me a manual transmission when I got it, but my wife likes to drive the car too, and she doesn't know how to drive a standard. So
I understand that. Is it a real Mach 1?
Yes, it is. I did have before I bought it, I had a Marty report run on it, and it's unless they stole the VIN number from another one, it is.
Wow.
It's actually the original. It's the correct color too for the Mach 1.
Now, do you know what this is called? This color? I don't know.
I think it's candy apple red, but I can't remember. That's not what. I don't think that's what they had on it.
And it was a frame-off restoration.
I'm just guessing.
Wow.
Because I've been underneath the car and everything, and
So it still has the 351 in it?
Yes, it does. 351 Windsor. I guess they made two different ones, the Cleveland and a Windsor. This is the Windsor.
Let's take a look at this bad boy.
All right.
I think I could eat off the damn thing.
Probably.
So tell us a little bit about it.
I only know what I was told, but it got a mild build kit on it. It's got racing pulleys. and then the aluminum radiator, which is a little bit too big. I've had some issues with the hoses sealing on it, but I think I've got that under control now.
I always love these battery tops.
Yeah.
These boxes that make it look like the old battery, because that's a real new battery underneath. But they build these tops for all the manufacturers that'll make it look like an old battery. I love that. You know what kind of power it makes?
I do not.
What does the ass dyno tell you? Does it move?
Yes, absolutely.
What kind of carburetor we got down here? What is that? Brock? It's a Middlebrock.
I would think it would match everything else.
Wow, that's clean. Yeah, that would make sense, I guess. We've got the, I think they call this a Monte Carlo bar here. Did you put that on, or was that there?
The guy I bought it off of, that's actually one of the few things he did himself, is he put that on after he bought it.
I've heard those help a lot with the sturdiness in the front.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us about the wheel package and the brakes.
It's a manual brake, so no power brakes.
Really?
Yeah. Really got to stand on it to slow it down. So that's interesting. It's got the American racing wheels. I think they're from the 80s. And I haven't had to replace the tires, so I'm not exactly sure what size, but one of the reasons it's got that stance, it hasn't been lowered or anything. It's got bigger wheels on the back than on the front.
Wow. Well, it looks great. Absolutely great. Yeah, those torque thrusts, they're, I think these are the new ones. The kind of the update that American Racing did to the wheels, but they look great. They're 17s, but it's a 275 rear, so that's a wide tire. It's so they're just a staggered tire size. Those look great. Do you know what the rear gearing is? Is it just factory?
I have no idea.
This is clean. Wow. See, it's got traction bars on it.
Mm-hmm. And the undercoat that's under there that you can see, that's all brand new. That was, he had done it. That was his winter project. I bought it last spring. His winter project was he took the old undercoat off and redid the undercoat on it.
Wow. Do you know what kind of exhaust is on it?
He told me the kind of exhaust and I forgot.
Oh, Magnaflows.
Yep.
Yeah. Is it okay if I open the door?
I can open this one too, it might give you a little more light.
Yeah, let's do that. So can you tell us about the interior? It looks mostly original. Or well, restored.
It looks original. The one thing that's, so the radio is not, it looks like an old 69 radio, but it's a newer one that they built to fit into the old cars. And same thing with where your clock would be. It's actually a digital clock over there on the right side in front of you.
Oh wow.
Yeah, digital clock doesn't work. Not sure why. So the gauges, he put a couple gauges in there on your water temperature, oil pressure, and the tachometer. So that made it so some of the ones on the dash actually don't do anything. And then the gas gauge when it's full says 3/4, and when it's empty says a half, so you don't have a whole lot of range. I put gas in it almost every third time I drive it because I'm always afraid I'm going to run out. I did almost run out one time. I thought I was breaking down until I got to the gas station and it took 11 gallons.
I know the feeling. After I did my LS swap, none of the gauges work on the dash anymore. The speedo doesn't work. The fuel gauge should work. I adapted it to the new tank, or the new pump, but it doesn't work. So I know the feeling. I know the feeling of the factory gauge is not working. But how do you like the B&M shifter, mega shifter.
I do like. I like it a lot. And if we go for a ride, I'll show you. It's got the option where you can put it all the way down, and then to shift up, you just push it up.
Yeah, those gated shifters are a lot of fun.
And that's a lot of fun. It doesn't go back down, which is frustrating because then you just got to put it back up in auto mode.
Yeah, those mega shifters are really popular. Do you know where the center console is from? That's really nice.
No, that was done before I got it.
Fire extinguisher here.
Yes, sir.
I got one as well.
Just in case.
Why not? Some people want to talk crap on having a fire extinguisher in a car. I figure why not?
I had a guy that I know has a old Corvette. I think it's a '64, and he said I saved my car in Amsterdam. He said I was coming down that hill and engine caught on fire, and he said if I didn't have a fire extinguisher, he said the whole car would have burned up.
Wow. Close is good. Well, Aaron, it's really something. That is absolutely beautiful.
You want to hear it running?
Yeah, let's start it up.
That's my favorite part.
Let's do it.
Let's see if we can chase my dog out from behind it.
It's got a cam in it.
Yes, it does.
That sounds really good.
That's one of the reasons it's out right now is because it takes about 5 minutes to warm up where it'll idle like this, otherwise
Oh, yeah.
it'll stall out. Neighborhood. I don't like to go real fast.
Oh, I understand.
Nobody lives in those last two houses, so I don't feel bad about muscling past them. But
Man.
one thing it's about a car like this is it's no mystery who it is. So it's not like I can zip by everybody and be like, oh, that wasn't me.
That's how it is with mine. Having a Hugger Orange Camaro, you can't really, there's nothing stealth about it. Everybody knows who I am and where I am.
So in the wintertime, when I get a nice day, my neighbors probably get tired of me because this road back here, this township road, does a loop around back to where we just came from. So I'll get out and I'll get one car out and I'll get it running, let it warm up in the driveway, and then I'll take it out around the loop and then I'll put it back and then I'll go get another car and I'll do the same thing.
That's pretty awesome.
That's one of the biggest things I've noticed is the longer you let a car sit, the worse it's going to be when you try to get it running again. So.
Oh, definitely. You got to get them out. I mean, having four classic cars,
it's too many.
I don't know if it's too many, but the logistics of it become interesting for sure.
You need a full-time mechanic on staff if
Right?
you're going to have that many cars.
I don't think it could be a nicer day for this. I'll tell you.
It's beautiful.
How does it do on the back roads, turns and everything? Does it handle pretty good?
It handles pretty good. I don't give it too much hell because I don't need to crash the car.
Yeah.
Luckily I'm not 16 because I don't think 16-year-old me would do a very good job with this car.
Oh, I know. The discipline at that age is it's lacking.
And again, yeah, I still had a Firebird that went pretty fast.
It drives really good. They liked it.
One thing that's nice about it is even when you're not going that fast, it still kind of feels like you're going fast. miles.
Oh yeah.
Like we're at 50 right now in a 55. So.
Oh yeah, driving a car like this, I mean, just cruising, I mean, it gets the adrenaline flowing. It doesn't matter if you're going 40 or 80. It just gives you a rush. Every time I drive mine, I mean, I could be going 20 miles an hour, but if I put it up at 4,000, I mean, I feel like I'm in a race car.
Sir.
I don't know if I talked about it, but I love that it's still got the louvers. Louvered windows.
It's actually, that was the addition right before I bought it, which was one of the biggest. I told the guy I bought it from, I said it was a great idea because it adds a lot to the car without having a whole lot.
As you probably know, they're never done.
They're never done. It's like owning a house.
Right?
It's always a project to do.
Well, my wife will agree with you on that. Yeah, it's funny, I did the LS swap last year, you know, got it done, started driving it, really got to enjoy it at the end of summer and fall, and this year, everyone's saying, well, what's next? I don't know. You never know.
Interesting note, I've only ever gotten a car to about 80. That's about as fast as I've gone in it. One reason is, if you take a look at the roads around here, there's not a whole lot of options.
No, there's not. And that's the funny thing I've always said about this area is like it's beautiful, the nice country roads, but there's not a lot of open flat stretch. I mean, you're taking your life in your hands when you're coming around a blind corner.
Right. That's why, you know, you learn to drive around here. I come up the road we were just on. There's a lot of blind bends, and every when I come over, I've got my foot on the brake because you just learn you don't know what's coming around there.
Looks like it. Aaron, it's absolutely beautiful. I tell you, this makes me not want to take my car out of the garage anymore. This thing is so clean.
I've seen your car. I think you've got a lot to be proud of. I feel guilty because people want to know everything about it, and I didn't build it, and I didn't put the love into it, so I kind of cheated on this one. But when I got it, my thought was I have enough projects that I've got to constantly work on. I wanted something that was done and something that hopefully I would just be able to have fun with, and so far so good.
You say you've got some other projects?
I've got a few other ones. This was the fourth one.
What do you got?
I've got a 1931 Model A, and I've got a 1965 Bonneville convertible and an 89 Firebird Formula.
Well, what are we standing out here for? Let's go look at these things. Oh wow, you were not kidding. And a lift, that'd be nice. So how many cars can you fit in here?
4. Lately I've been parking the Mustang on the lift. Last winter, I put my wife's car in here too, so if you squeeze them, you can fit 5, but it takes some maneuvering.
Wow. Well, if you don't mind, take us around, tell us what you got.
All right, where do you want to start?
Wherever you would like to.
Let's start with the one that is the longest one. So, this is 65 Bonneville. I bought it at an auction. Actually, the same time I bought the Model A, I bought this. It's been a really reliable car until this year. It's the original color, the original engine, 35,000 original miles. The paint is not original, but it's the correct color. This year I've had some trouble with a couple different things. If you can take a look in there at the engine, and you can see I've got some things out of there. It overheats because it's got a big 389 in it, and when it sits idle, like when I put in a parade, we have problems with overheating. So I'm trying to put an auxiliary fan in there. Because of where the fan is in the radiator, I'm having trouble finding the spot to squeeze it in.
Yeah.
I'll be able to do it.
Yeah, and without a shroud, they really don't get the cooling that they need.
Yeah, it really struggles. It gets hot and it takes an hour to cool down and get it running again.
Boy, we could put a big oversized radiator in here, a nice big electric fan.
Yes.
Yeah, she'd run cool. Wow. So it's all numbers matching?
I believe so. I haven't done a whole lot of work to confirm it, but based on what I know from the guy who bought it, the history of the car, he's indicated it's all original.
Wow.
And the interior is the original interior, and it's in really nice shape.
I'd say that's an understatement.
The convertible fan, or the convertible motor runs fine, comes up and down without a problem.
How many miles did you say were on it?
Just under 35,000.
Wow. Is it all original body? Do you think has the body been done?
As far as I know, it's.
I was going to ask if it has power steering, but with that big wheel.
It does. It rides real smooth. It's like a luxury car when you cruise down the road with that wheelbase. It just floats.
Oh, I bet. Wow. And behind me here, some of my personal favorites, we got a 3rd gen. What's going on with this beauty?
I've had that one since I was 15 years old. It was my very first car.
Is it real formula?
It is. It's a real formula. It's got close to 100,000 miles on it. I drove it all the time as a kid. I put it into a guardrail once, so it's got the back corner has been a rebuild. It's all putty back there. This is not a collector car. This is the one that probably means the most to me. If I'm getting rid of cars, it's probably going to be the last one to go, and it's probably worth the least amount.
Darn. Well, I guess I won't try to get it from you then. What year was it?
89.
89 with less than 100,000 miles on it. That's pretty good. That is pretty good. 305 or 350?
305.
Yeah, I'm really partial to 3rd gens. Had a couple 91 Camaros back in the day. Trying to get back into them, but the prices, at least in Columbus there, are just silly. That original paint?
No. I had it after I bought it. So I bought it off a relative of mine, and he had it in his garage, and whenever I looked at it, it had boxes on it. It was being used as a shelf for storage, and paint was all scratched up. It wasn't in super great shape, so we had it repainted. Then a year later, I put it in the guardrail, and we had to have the other side painted again.
Don't shake that. Wow.
The last one here, this is a 1931 Model A. It's, they called them back then, this was a deluxe Phaeton model. And one of the reasons I bought this car, I never intended to buy a Model A in my life. But when it went up for auction, I had done a little bit of research on the car. And 1931 was the last year they made them. They discontinued them. They originally made, I guess, the Phaeton model, the 2-door Phaeton, which is the convertible, had the higher options, which is funny because it's hard to drive. It's got no power steering, no power brakes, the non-synchronized transmission, so you gotta double clutch and get the engine just right to shift. And but they only made about 3,300 of them in 1931. Supposedly there's about 300 or so left.
Wow.
So it's not a common car. It's a little piece of history, and the color combination, everything, I couldn't resist whenever I saw it. It's been this is an older restoration. I think this was restored in the early 90s, but it's been kept up pretty well by the previous owner. And I know that the guy that owned it before was from Richmond, which is where I'm from, and his name was Bill Choicey, and he took meticulous care of it. So
I can tell. That's gorgeous. Can we see the engine?
sure. Not much to see.
I've never worked on one of these pre-war Fords. I've even really been around them other than shows. So it's an inline 4, flathead? No, not. Is it? Oh boy, I don't know. Dog okay?
Yeah, that's what she does. She lays in the sun and then she lays in the shade.
I was concerned about the dog there for a minute. Oh, she heard me, or he heard me.
Time to go to the shade.
Wow. Do You put this in parades at all, or?
Yes, I do. I haven't had time, so right now I've got this thing, I'm having a power problem with it, so it hasn't been a parade this year. Last time I drove it, I turned around after about a half a mile because I didn't have enough power to get up hills. So I thought I don't want to get too far out of here and end up having to call Haggerty and get flatbedded back home from a half a mile away.
I understand that. Wow. Well guys, that's going to wrap it up for this edition of Much's Wrench Set. Appreciate everybody being here. Aaron, I appreciate, where are you? There you are. Appreciate you showing us everything and taking us for a ride.
Well, thanks for coming out. It's fun to get the car out and give it a run.
You got a heck of a collection here. I think we'll be back. We'll take a look at either that Model A or that Bonneville sometime, or maybe the next thing you got at that time.
All right, sounds good.
Appreciate it guys. We'll see you on the next time of Much's Wrench Set.